Welcome to day 11 of our 21 days of prayer and fasting. I'm so excited to hear about all that God has been doing in our lives and to share those stories of the breakthroughs that He's going to come to. Today we have two verses, so let's get right into it. Our first verse is 1 Corinthians 4:1. It says, Paul says, "This then is how you ought to regard us, as servants of Christ and as those entrusted with the mysteries God has revealed." And this word servant is so interesting because in the Greek, it's actually the word for steward. So Paul is saying that he sees himself as a steward of Christ and the mysteries that God has revealed to him. And of course, those mysteries is the gospel of Christ. And so he sees himself as a steward. And a steward is somebody who would be not just a servant, but someone who is trusted with the entire estate of the owner while they were away. They were trusted to know and do the will of the owner when they were away. And what a beautiful image of what we're supposed to do here on earth, that we are to enact God's will in our lives in whatever sphere of influence with whatever gifts we have, because Psalm 24:1, the other verse we have, says, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it." So we're trusted with not only ourselves, but anything that God has given us, whether it be our talents or our resources or even the relationships we have. He desires us to enact His will in those. And the only way to know the will of God is to learn about Him, is to develop that relationship with Him through prayer and reading His Word and just learning more about who He is how we're going to focus more on God and bring God to this world. And doesn't the world need Him? Because God's will is perfectly enacted in heaven because that's His home. But here on earth, He's given us a choice whether we want to pursue Him or pursue our own interests. He has given us a choice for His will or our own. And this has been shown in the Garden of Eden that we're not really good at focusing on God's will, but Jesus came and gave us a blueprint for how to focus on God and how to show that we are capable of seeing His will come to pass. He showed us how to pray, that we should be praying, "God, may your will be on earth as it is in heaven." And so as we go through our day-to-day lives, whether it be our jobs or our families or just the environments we're in, let's focus on what we could do to bring God's will on earth. How we can share the gospel, how we can share His love, how we can share His compassion, how we can use our wisdom that He's given us, or our interests even, how we can use those things for good and not for evil, for others, for service instead of self-interests. Because God desires not only to save us and to see us in heaven, but He desires for everybody, for the entire world to come to know Him and know His goodness. After all, that's why we're still here, because if He just wanted us, we would be in heaven by now. The moment we got saved, He would call us right back up. But because we're here, if we're still breathing, if we're still on this earth, there's a task at hand that He has for us. And so I just want to encourage you that whatever it is that's in your hands, whatever even interest that you have, God has a plan for those. And I ask that you would just seek Him and ask Him how He would want you to use that in your life. So I'm just excited to see all that God is going to do in and through us, and I hope you have a great day.